Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we are taking a look at both the macro and the short-term charts, discussing a very important question. Is the bottom in for Bitcoin? What will it take for a full-blown reversal to occur? Or are we going to see a continuation lower? We are going to be going over not only the short-term and macro charts, but the total altcoin market cap and total market cap as well. Before we get into it, smash the like button, hit the comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you were interested in, join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop for cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you were interested in taking your trading to the next level, join us in the VIP channel. Click the pinned comment in the free channel to do so. Contact me by clicking my name. Click the first link to find a 50+ month trading track record, and click the second link to see a 10-minute video tour inside the channel. You'll get access to the main VIP channel where we post trading setups with exact entries, targets, and stop losses, including trade justification and exclusive analysis, as well as a variety of group chats, from the general chat to the trading chart and education chat to the daily video help, news, community trader setup, and of course our video chat. If you are interested in getting access to all of that, go ahead and contact me. You know how to do it, and we'll see you in the channel. Let's dive into the video. So as we can see, there has been a lot of short-term volatility for Bitcoin and for the broader cryptocurrency market. We saw a correction as low as $78,000 since the breakdown at 94k of that horizontal consolidation, and ever since we saw the breakdown on the weekly RSI. If we look at the weekly RSI at 62.09, we had seen a total correction from that $97,000 region into 78k of just under 20%. It was around 19.3% correction since that breakdown. If we take a look at the short-term price action, we have seen a pretty solid reversal for Bitcoin from that $78,000 to $80,000 low, pushing now back up to a critical level of resistance, which is going to be that daily 200 moving average and that $86,000 level. We can see in 3 minutes time, Bitcoin will be closing its current daily candle, and it will be closing above the 200 moving average, which is a good sign. However, on the weekly chart, we can still see with a day and 1 hour remaining, we are sitting very well and truly underneath that daily low at the red line, and of course even the weekly low represented by this black line. We'll be discussing what is happening here from the short-term perspective and a macro perspective, as well as discussing the potential for a reversal, what that would look like, and what needs to happen for us to see the Bitcoin price and the cryptocurrency market avoid a further downward correction. Let's start on the market data. 24-hour volume and liquidation have both dropped toward the downside. That is expected as we enter and go through the weekend, with volume down 57% at 139 billion. Liquidations down 73%, still relatively high at 234 million. Moving over to the DXY, we can see the DXY has closed pretty well on that weekly, bouncing from that horizontal level of support, confirming a support resistance flip. Overall, it is looking relatively bullish, provided we sustain above that $107 region. Of course, we remain above here. We are expecting continuations toward the upside. If we do drop back below, that will be a trigger for a correction toward the midline. Until then, we are leaning toward the upside while we sustain above 107. Looking at the S&P 500, again, not looking too amazing. We need to see that momentum on the daily flip positive. If we take a look at momentum ever since we had that initial top here before that correction at around 5,600 back at July 2024, we can see Although the price action has been rising, momentum has been falling. This is a representation of general exhaustion, such as what we will see here, a bearish divergence, signifying that although the price action is rising, the selling pressure as the price is moving upwards is steadily increasing, and the buying pressure is decreasing, signifying that the buyers are slowly losing control. However, if we could see that RSI break through, that would indicate a positive momentum shift, simply suggesting that although selling pressure has been increasing through the period of the last 6 months, they have been unable to push the price to new lows, or at least to even break some of these lower highs, resulting in, again, complete absorption of that selling pressure and the buyers stepping back in. This is the trigger we are watching to be confident that the price chart will continue toward the upside. Until then, the potential for corrections back towards that 50 EMA or even 5,700 are on the cards. Let's go ahead and jump into the rest of today's analysis. Like we said, we are going over the total market cap, the total altcoin market cap, the weekly charts, the short-term and daily candle, and of course the current high time frame ranges, exactly what needs to happen for a reversal, how that reversal can be sustained, how the charts are looking, and potential lower targets if the correction resumes. Before we get into it, make sure to go ahead and sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. These are the exchanges I personally use, and the exchange links you'll find in the pinned comment. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15% off all your trading fees, no matter which of those exchanges you sign up to. You'll go to support me making the content, and most importantly, support yourself. Check it out, sign up, and we'll see you back in just a second. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump back into it. I want to start on the total market cap and the total altcoin market. So let's start on the altcoin market, as the altcoin market has held up surprisingly well over the past few days in comparison to Bitcoin. Now, the altcoin market, although it has held up surprisingly well, is not looking amazing just yet. However, I do see some potential indications that we could see a reversal on our hands over the next coming weeks, provided some very specific things occur in the charts. First and foremost, let's zoom out to the weekly chart and take a look at where we are. We are sitting right within that high time frame yearly level of support. This support spans from that classic $840 billion level we've been talking about for a very, very long time, all the way down to that top in March 2024 at around 780 to 790 billion. We are sitting smack bang right within that level, and we've had a weekly retest of the 50 EMA. What we can notice is ever since we broke back above that 50 EMA all the way back in 2023, we have more or less sustained above this level, testing it as support numerous times. There have been a few instances where we have momentarily dropped below, but for the most part, we have tracked pretty well along and above the 50 EMA, meaning the 50 EMA is going to be a trigger for a bearish continuation. Until then, what are we seeing on the daily chart? We can see the price action has been grinding relatively steady toward the downside for quite some time now, ever since we realistically had that double retest of 1.13 trillion. But what we can notice most importantly is within this range of consolidation above 840 billion and now momentarily below 840 billion, we can see momentum has been dropping. Now, the RSI over here depicts a downtrend, which we can see eventually converges or apexes around about the end of March at that 30 point on the RSI on the histogram, which is essentially that oversold territory. Now, I don't generally care too much for the oversold or overbought territories for the RSI. I more so care about the shifts in momentum, not so much whether or not we're oversold or overbought. What we can see over here is a very strong and very obvious downtrend here on the RSI. Again, the downtrend matches two particular points, which are going to be both the retests of the $1.13 trillion level, and we move into a downtrend since then. If we are able to see a breakout of this RSI, we may very well see money rotate back into altcoins, and we could see the altcoin market break through this downtrend. That may result in a strong rally for altcoins. The next question is, will that rally result in a break of these prior highs, or will it be a dead cat bounce before a continuation? That is something we cannot answer yet, but what we can say is at the moment, the price is in a downtrend. We can see over here, we do have a downtrend in the RSI, and we do have now a very clear validation point at which the strength should return to the altcoin market. Until that happens, we should be cautious, and we should be not surprised if we do see some short-term corrections again back toward the downside. So again, what are we waiting for to be bullish on altcoins? We are waiting for that daily RSI to break. We are waiting for momentum. We are waiting for confirmation. Remember, confirmation is the insurance you pay to be right. Sometimes it is better to miss a few percent to increase your probability of success than to try get that extra few percent when your probability of success is significantly lower. So confirmation is the insurance you pay to be right. We are personally waiting for that confirmation. Moving over to the weekly chart here on the total market cap is looking very sketchy, very shaky. In fact, we've got 23 hours remaining to ensure that the weekly total market cap is able to bounce back above a minimum price of 2.8 trillion. We are sitting at 2.79 trillion at the moment, sitting underneath the 2021 top horizontal area of resistance, marking this currently as potential deviation. I say potential deviation as we do not have that close at the moment in 23 hours that will confirm it. As we have seen a respective retest of the 50 EMA, indicating this is going to be our trigger point for continuations lower. Meaning if we do want to see this correction that we have now seen to be around 20% since our correction signal triggered, it has been a 20% drop already. If we want to see a continuation even lower on that correction, we need to see this 50 EMA break. So if that 50 EMA breaks toward the downside, we would then expect a continuation lower for the total market cap, which could take us to the 200 moving average. And again, that would confirm this to be deviation, and that would initiate a stronger high time frame correction. So the total market cap is looking bad, but it does have some hope. It all depends on how this next 24-hour period goes. If we see some strength return, we could see more of a bounce toward the upside. We could see this deviation be avoided for another week. But if we do not, we are watching for corrections under the 50 EMA to then confirm continuations lower. So as you can tell already, the narrative we are kind of pushing or talking about now, the overall vibe we are giving off is that the correction has not only just completed, but it has occurred. We have seen the correction occur now. The correction we were warning about for weeks, moving into what we call to be a low historical resistance range, essentially a vertical range of price action measured on the horizontal scale where the volume requirements were significantly lower than that of areas of consolidation, represented by the visible range volume profile, suggesting that when the price action were to break into the low historical resistance range from a position of weakness, i.e. breaking down from an area of support, we would see a significant surge in volatility, and that surge in volatility would result in a strong and rapid liquidation toward the downside. The correction we have been warning about, the correction we have been discussing, preparing, and telling you guys about has occurred. In fact, that correction has not only occurred, we saw a 19% correction for Bitcoin. We can actually go ahead and edit this now. This was a 19.3% correction for Bitcoin since we had that bearish signal print. Now, this doesn't mean the correction is over, and it doesn't mean the bottom is in. Of course, we need confirmation for both of those things to occur. However, if you are looking for the correction to just begin, you are 19% late essentially to that move. As we move deeper and deeper down, the potential for mean reversion starts to increase. We have seen that mean reversion now from around 78k back up to the 200 moving average, and we're going to discuss very shortly what is happening here and what the probabilities are in favor of downward or continuations toward the upside. But let's very quickly identify some key levels on both the macro and of course on the daily before we get into the specifics about what is happening and what is likely to occur. The key levels we need to identify are going to be our bullish and bearish invalidation and validation points. As we mentioned, the total market cap and the total altcoin market, the 50 EMA is acting as the bearish validation point. As for the broader cryptocurrency market and for Bitcoin, the trigger for a quote-unquote bear market would be the loss of the upper band on the Gaussian channel on this weekly chart here. In fact, if we take a look at the weekly chart, we can see the upper band of the Gaussian channel perfectly lines up with a major area of support at 74,000. Going back to this chart, we have actually mapped that area out as a gray box of support. This is where the Gaussian channel is passing through on the weekly. Therefore, this is an area of interest. Whether or not we come down to retest this area, if we do retest this area, this would be our most probable reversal point for Bitcoin. Meaning if we retest it, the probabilities are probably at the highest there for reversal in comparison to anywhere else between these areas of support and resistance. Moving back over to the macro chart, as we can see on the macro chart, a breakdown of the upper band of the Gaussian channel generally results in a continuation through the Gaussian channel. Hence why we have seen in prior bull markets and bear markets, when we break into that Gaussian channel from the top side down, we generally see a correction under. And thus, for us to be confident in a bear market starting, that is going to be our trigger for a bear market. So I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I think there's a potential we move into one if we see that move occur, but I don't think we are in one yet to answer that question. If we take a look at the 3-day on the Gaussian channel, we can see we have bounced actually from the midline of the Gaussian channel indicator, which is a good sign for now. The midline acts as what you would call a last level of support or a reversal point on the 3-day. However, if we do drop below the 3-day, it is highly likely we move to the lower band. And again, the lower band on the 3-day is equal to the upper band on the week over here, which is 74,000. So we can see how a lot of the dominoes are lining up for 74,000, but we do have some short-term mean reversion occurring right now. But if it doesn't sustain and we do not see the buyers step back in before we lose this midline again, it is likely we will go lower. So let's now talk about what the buyers need to do to step back in to ensure we do not see that continuation occur. And because we've just gone ahead and described, this potential move down, what would happen if it occurs, where we could potentially go, and why we could go there. Let's talk about now what it would take to avoid that, and what it would take for not only to avoid that, but for the strength to fully return to the market. So first and foremost, on the daily chart, we have seen some nice mean reversion. We would like to see, again, confirmation. We need to see this RSI break toward the upside. We have a very long time until that RSI potentially apexes, and you can see already over here, we are quite some distance away from that RSI, so we are not expecting an immediate positive momentum shift. This does open us up to the potential of sideways consolidation here, or potential downward consolidation into 74,000. If we do see, and when we do see that RSI break upwards, that is going to be the confirmation we are looking for a continuation higher for Bitcoin. Whether that occurs through this $88,000 region if Bitcoin climbs upwards, or whether that occurs if we look at a correction all the way back down into 74,000 and it happens at 74,000, it doesn't matter when we see that breakout. When we do see that breakout, that is going to be an indication that the downtrend is likely over for the Bitcoin, and we will likely see a reversal. Now, will that reversal result in new highs? The same answer we're going to give you as to what we gave in the total market cap. It is very hard to say for sure until it actually happens, but when it does break through, we will have a more of an indication or more of an understanding of where the potential targets are. But we can say for now that a momentum shift will increase the probability of a reversal for Bitcoin. Either we go up to retest prior resistances, or if we have that momentum shift above 88k, potentially 108. Overall, guys, to wrap it all up, the markets are looking weak. It is very, very easy to become speculative and, want to ape back in every time you see mean reversion. But I'm just going to go ahead and say again, confirmation is the insurance you pay to be right. Sometimes missing a few percent is a good thing to do to make sure your entries are actually in a position of strength and in a position where the probabilities are in your favor. Now, a lot of people on this channel might be watching who are investors. Maybe you're an investor, maybe you care about, the price of the asset. But for me personally, I can only speak for myself. Again, this is my channel. This is insight into the way I think, if nothing else. I'm a trader. I don't care about the price of the asset. The only thing I care about is the percentage change from my entry to my exit. The price is just a means to evaluate the perceived value of the asset based on the market conditions and what the public perceives that to be. That is it. It is just a number, okay? It doesn't represent strength. It doesn't represent weakness. It is just a means to evaluate something. We are watching for the things behind that. We are watching for shifts in momentum. We are watching for changes in behaviors from those buyers and sellers to signify potential selling exhaustion, which could result in reversals. And if we are looking for that, we can say confidently right now, we do not see that on the daily chart. We are expecting potential lower prices at the moment. Moving over to the immediate short-term price action, moving to the 4-hour chart again, we need to start seeing some of those prior highs be taken out. Even on the hourly chart here, we have seen a nice reversal, a nice bounce of Bitcoin. Again, we had this major downtrend, major bullish divergence develop over here, resulting in a reversal. We had some excessive selling pressure. We had that mean reversion, but even with this mean reversion upwards, these prior highs, look at 87,000, we're looking at 89,000, are still intact. We need to break through these levels to actually signify some proper strength. Until we do that, the potential for corrections all the way back down are still possible. So when we start breaking through these levels of resistance and we start holding above here, then we might be open to more of a reversal back toward the upside. But until then, this just looks like mean reversion. It doesn't signify excessive strength. There's no indication on the daily or the weekly chart right now that we have so much strength that we'll be confident to re-enter. In fact, we are being cautious, we are waiting, and we're watching to see how the price responds to these prior highs, being aware that, you might miss the move initially, okay? But it's not about getting the perfect entry, it is about getting the entry that gives you the highest probability of success, because again, the percentage change in the value of the asset is what matters when it comes to trading, not the value of the asset itself. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic day. Catch you guys tomorrow. See you then.